Hey guys, it's Drama for Life here. Today I want to talk about why the Joker is overrated. Now I know this is different than my usual videos. I usually, talk about Dragon Ball, but this channel is not supposed to be only for Dragon Ball. It's about, anything that I personally like. So usually it's going to be about geek culture. It's going to be about Dragon Ball. It's going to be about other animes. It's going to be about comic books, games, anything that I have any particular interest in. I'm going to talk about in this channel. So, comic books is one of those things that I have interest in, and this is one topic that I really want to talk about for quite a bit because I feel like this character gets a little too much love and a little too much praise for, to be honest, not doing that much. So, I want to get into it. Now, even, before even talking about him, I want to say this. I'm pretty sure there's a ton of, comic book fans, DC fans, Batman fans that also agree with me. This is not something new. This is not, an unpopular opinion because let's be honest, the Joker has been shown quite a bit and he's been overdone to the point where a lot of comic book fans are kind of sick and tired of him. They're like, we get it, Joker's crazy. He's the antithesis to Batman. He's a parallel between him and this and that. And it's like, yeah, that's fun, but when you keep on focusing on him and always just talking about him, it starts to get boring and played out. They've done countless movies, TV shows, animated shows, animated movies, comic books. And video games. He's been overdone to death. And yes, he can be fun and entertaining, but when you do something over and over again and repeatedly show a character, it goes from, yeah, this character's cool to this character's annoying. So he is a character that I personally still like and enjoy, but I do have some problems with him, and I especially am sick and tired of seeing him keep on being shown, because Batman has quite a bit of enemies in his rogues gallery. He has Clayface, Two-Face, Mr. Freeze. He has the Riddler. He has a Penguin. He has a Scarecrow. He has Ra's al Ghul. He has I'm trying to think about who else he has. Killer Croc. He has countless other enemies that he faces, and they all have their own interesting backstories. My personal favorite is the Riddler because I just like how smart and how intelligent and clever he is. If he wasn't so stuck on making riddles and being so arrogant, and let's say he was focused as Batman was, I believe that he would be Batman's biggest threat. He would be his biggest enemy because Batman's biggest enemy is not a physical fight, it is the mental game. And that's what I love about the Riddler. There's also a comic book where the Riddler went to Star City, or I think it was Starlab City, and he started messing with the Flash, and he actually found his identity out. He exposed him, so he had to do some time manipulation to stop him. But it just shows how much of a threat his intelligence is, and that's what I love about the Riddler. And there's, like I said, other villains of his that are cool. Clayface has some cool powers. Mr. Freeze is very a very thought-provoking character, a very well-written character, a character that you can sympathize with and very emotionally attached to. So there's far better characters out there. Even if, let's say, they didn't play Joker up that much, he still wouldn't be my favorite. I do think he's a fun and entertaining villain and character, but people make him sound like he's the best written or best villain of all time. No, he's not. He's not even close. Let's just be honest. Joker is a very basic and mustache twirling villain. He is interesting with sometimes his philosophy and the crazy shenanigans he gets into, but himself as a whole, he isn't really anything special. I feel like the Batman fans especially over exaggerate him. He's the greatest villain of all time, he's this and that. No, he's not. He's overrated, he's over exaggerated. He's to the point where it's like, okay, we get it, he's crazy, what's new? Like, give us something different. Give us something new about him. There's nothing special about him. And it's weird to me that a lot of people give, other fictional characters flag, like, villain characters. Like, he's just evil for the sake of being evil. This character is just evil for the sake of being evil. They're so harsh to criticize these other characters when they're not, very thought-provoking and having this, being very sympathetic as characters. And it's just like this to me. I'm like, okay, personally, I don't have a problem with the character being a villain being evil for just being evil. I would prefer them to have more of a backstory, but I don't mind it. But what it pisses me off is the fact that a lot of people, the same people that say that, they never say the same thing to the Joker. How come all these other characters get scrutinized so hard, but when it comes to the Joker, and he is basically the antithesis of a lazy ridden villain where he's just, I'm evil too for the sake of being evil. People, don't say anything bad about him. They always praise him. I've never seen them being negative about how he's written. They're always being negative about other villains, but when it comes to him, they always give him like leeway. Apparently everybody else can be scrutinized for being too blatantly evil, but when it comes to him, he's praised for it. And I know a lot of arguments people make is he's the opposite of the Batman. Batman is about order, he's about chaos. But let's be honest, that's not that complex or intricate of a story writing anyway. It's very lame and lazy if you think about it, because obviously any criminal that wants to do harm or does injustice would be the opposite to Batman. That's not a I get what they're trying to make it sound like, oh, it's so philosophical, but it's not. It's very basic. Okay, he's the opposite of him. Batman likes to follow likes order and likes to he's serious and likes to keep things organized, whereas Joker is chaotic and crazy and evil. Wow, that's such a very well written like comparison. It's just so lazy. I'm sorry. I've seen other characters in shows where they've had two characters who have different ideologies conflicting with each other written far better than this. This is just simply Batman likes order and Joker likes chaos. Batman tries to do justice and has moral code and doesn't kill. Joker doesn't like justice and doesn't have moral code and just kills whoever. It's just so lame. It's gotten to the point where it's like, okay, the problem that I have with a lot of fans when it comes to stuff is a lot of times fans, when they like something, they tend to over exaggerate certain aspects or certain writing to make it sound even more impressive. So they take a concept that this basic and this paper thin and dry, and try to make it sound like it's so thought-provoking, it's so deep, it's so it's so immersive, and it draws you out. But it's not. It's very basic. If you don't have the fanboy glasses on, you can clearly see that characters like the Joker are not very well written. Joker is literally, if anybody out there has ever talked bad about a villain saying this character is just evil for the sake of being evil, and if you ever, complimented the Joker, then you're a hypocrite, because the Joker is literally that. You can't judge other characters like that and then give Joker a free pass because you think he's cool or whatever. You can say he's cool, you can like him, that's fine, but you got to be honest too. You can't just be like, well, these other characters are lazy written and they're not very, deep, but then turn around and say, yeah, the Joker himself, he's very well written character. No, he's not. He's a very poorly written character. He's very boring at this point. I would rather see, the Riddler or anybody else. And I am happy that the new Batman movie that's coming out is having the Riddler as they're having Riddler as the villain, because the last time we saw the Riddler as a villain was when Jim Carrey played him, and with Tommy Lee Jones, and that was years ago, and that was like, let's be honest, that was a goofy movie. That was not a good movie. That was like terrible. I think that was also a bad casting choice. The Riddler was never like that. He was never like wild. He was more like a narcissistic type of crazy, whereas this one he was more like wild and goofy. I think Jim Carrey, to be honest, he's a great actor. He would have played far better for Joker than the Riddler, but he was the Riddler and it didn't work out well. So the fact that we're having a new movie coming out with the Riddler being the villain makes me happy. I'm actually very excited to see where they'll take it. It means a lot. I'm very excited and proud about that. But yeah, like I said, the Joker he's been overshown. They need to take a step back off of him. He is not the most very well written character, and I do feel like there's a lot of bias when it comes to him and hypocrisy, because when it comes to his character, a lot of people give him, I guess they give him leeway, or they defend whatever his writing is. But when it comes to other characters, they're so they're so nitpicky and scrutinize it so much, and it's just like, if you're gonna do that, at least do it with him too. Be fair. Or you're just having favoritism. So yeah, once again, I don't hate the Joker. I just don't like the fact that the fans like to over exaggerate him, and I don't like the fact that the writers try to show him so much. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video.